Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about there is no way to go around it. So my friends, I want you to remind yourself that you're entering a season where everything works out for you in your favor, right on time, every time. So my friends, this is a great shift. And why I named this video there is no other way around it, because a call for change is happening in many of us, and it means that we look within our lives and we ask ourselves, are we living or are we giving life to our greatness? Are you giving life to your greatness? And I see many of you doing that. Because, here in this AttractPassion community, so many people are sharing their incredible stories, your incredible stories in the comment section. And when I see that, I see great examples. Like, none of us is perfect, but we are working on finding more of ourselves within the chaos of thoughts, right? So as we are discovering more of ourselves, more than anything else, we recognize how much we've been programmed and conditioned to adapt to a certain way that is just not for us, right? When you recognize that the way you live your life is just not putting wood onto your inner fire, you recognize there's something to change, right? And for a certain period of time, I think we can live in that adaptive mechanism to external world. And it's okay to know how to adapt. It's important. But as you get so used to adapting to external world, at some point you may forget who you are, from what kind of state you're adapting to external world, and suddenly you recognize nothing else but that great suffering that is a byproduct of losing yourself in the process. And as we start to recognize that suffering within, we may wonder, well, what cut us out of ourselves, right? Because little kids, we've been aware of something really big, something really huge, and that is an ability to dream, ability to explore our imagination. And as we got older, we came across ideas, thoughts, and beliefs that imagination is something that we should keep within ourselves. Like, stop exploring it, because you will not make much with it, right? You need to go through a certain process of education. You need to become like the system want you to be, so you can do the things for it, right? And as soon as you start doing things for something else, you stop doing them for yourself, right? And the great coherence can only happen when you serve something externally, but you serve it the way that it feeds you as well, with the similar energy. Like, for example, when you help someone, while you're helping that person, you're also helping yourself, you're lifting yourself up. Because sometimes we are just not positive, right? Sometimes we feel down, sometimes we feel under stress, but opportunity meets us to help someone, and we are willing to help, and suddenly we feel better. So how is it possible? You've been not thinking about positive thoughts or whatever. You did an act of greatness, and that's what uplifted you. You helped somebody, and that same energy was projected back to you. That's what we need to remind ourselves every single day, that what we project out will get back to us. And as we're facing with many great changes, we may experience a call for change, right? There needs to be a change in the way we think, a change in the way we accept and see ourselves, the change in the way we see others and acceptance of others. And then there's a change in behaviors, developing new habits, right? New behaving patterns, the way we speak, the way we talk, and then spiritual actions. What are spiritual actions? When we start developing some new routines that can uplift our energy, that can align our centers, that can ground us, that can make our light stronger, that can activate light within us, life within us. You know, there's many changes, and when we start observing all those different aspects of us, we may get scared because there's a lot of work to do. So much of our lives we've been living externally. I need to go on my job, I need to talk with those people, I need to take care of my family and all those different things. And there's already a lot of work, but then it comes to internal work and we recognize, oh, it's much more work than it can ever be externally, right? And we got scared about it. But as soon as we start making small changes, and as I said, there is no way around it. As soon as we start making small changes internally, we recognize that it is making profound effects on our well-being, right? It starts making profound effects on our state of being. Suddenly we start to feel better. Suddenly we start to experience the spark of inspiration one more time. Suddenly we start to feel motivated to do some more work, to see what is calling us, to develop that sense of intuition that helps us or allows us to sense what's beyond the veil of what is known to our eyes, right? And suddenly many people start to waking up to sensing of what's beyond, or in other words, what's within that great field that we're living in. Like, our five senses can help us to sense what's present, what we can see, what makes sense, right? And that's what then we call perception, a known reality. But intuition can help us and allow us to sense what's beyond that veil. And as soon as we plug to what's beyond, we recognize that there's so much we don't know, right? There's so much we don't know. And from our limited perspective, we've been used to live our lives the way that we are scared of the unknown, right? We are scared of what we don't understand. But as we expand our awareness a little bit, we recognize that we need to start accepting the unknown, because unknown is the field of everything, right? Unknown is the source of everything. And if the unknown is the source of everything, then it means as soon as you start expecting something to happen, you start building a bridge for it to come into your known life, into your known reality. And that's where we experience changes, because to everyone who starts to move through the process of a greater realization of who he or she is, like, let's say you may recognize that within you there's an inner child who's so curious, so passionate, so loving, so kind, so creative, so passionate about creating. There's an inner child within you so passionate about creating. As soon as you recognize that, you may ask yourself, well, how can I give more life to that child so I can be more like a vehicle of that inner bliss, right? So my body can become like a vehicle of that inner bliss. And as we start wondering that, we start looking for solutions, for opportunities. And that's where we start expecting the answers to come. And that's where we start meeting synchronicities. So the field starts projecting back to us everything we need to know, everything that can help us so we can know what we need to know, so we can become a vehicle of that passionate child within, right? So it can grow, it can evolve, it can become what it's meant to be. Because when we were little, we were those kids. We were those passionate kids, curious kids. But at some point, we needed to shut that system down, and we've started developing the character, the mind, the persona, right? And we've suppressed that kid, that child. And as we've suppressed that kid, it doesn't mean that it disappeared. It was seeking expression. Every time you felt inspired, it was seeking expression. Every time you felt called for change, it was seeking expression. Every time you felt called to do something that you truly wanted to do from your heart, it was seeking expression, but you said no to it. You said no to it. That's what brought sadness to you. That's what brought that misery to you. And it's still present within you. And it's not the thing that the sadness is the problem, but you just need to gain a relationship once again with yourself. You need to build a relationship with yourself once again. That's why so many people right now want to spend a bit more time alone and to be with themselves and to practice what we call self-love or self-kindness, which is beyond words. Like, you know, not just saying I love myself, but truly nurturing yourself, doing what is calling you. When you feel called to create, go and write, go and draw, go and paint, go and make music. And do it. And do it as long as you feel like doing it. Because you will see something will awaken, or something is awakening within you. And in the next few days we'll have a powerful new moon. Just in the previous video I was talking about it. And this new moon is special, coming in Aquarius. And we all know Aquarius is that sign of truth. It's a sign that doesn't want to be labeled. So what it means? It means that as long as you're labeling yourself, you're blocking yourself, you're like framing yourself in a certain way. But to free yourself means to explore what all life has to offer. So life is beyond words, as we know. So it means that you need to go beyond words with your actions, with your curiosity, with your imagination, with your thoughts and beliefs beyond the words that you know, which means that you open yourself to a new knowledge. You open yourself to something new that has already been offered to you. So you truly need to ask yourself, what am I ignoring in my life that could uplift my spirit, that could uplift my life's experiences? What am I ignoring? Because often you may come across a thought like, let's change the way you eat, or let's change the way you behave, like let's be more active. And you may just ignore those thoughts. Those are powerful thoughts because they may come to you through your intuitive sensing, like it's time to move my body so it can be more than that it can be, right? That's how you give life to your body. Every time you move it, every time you are being active, like every time you go into nature and you connect with your home, our home, this earth, we become more than we can be. Because we are used to be limited. We are used to be in lower emotional states. We are so used to those states that we thought it's normal, that it's natural, but it's not. Those are altered states. Those are the states that are pulling us out of our real nature. And the point is that you get back to your nature, not just external, the world, the nature here, but your inner nature, that inner child that is calling you. Like, when you sense the fire, when something inspires you, imagine that kid within you is calling you to be expressed, and you need to know how to express it. And you can only know if you explore the ways of expression. Because if you're training to live on the surface because you're afraid that people will not accept you, that people will not support you, that people will not understand you, if you will be practicing living on the surface, you will become so good at it that at some point you will forget the ways that allowed you to express your inner kid, right? And many of us became so good at that we forgot how to give voice to that child, how to give voice to that inner being. And the call for change is actually a call to learn and practice building a bridge between your inner being and outer world. And that is something really, really powerful that we can do. And it's kind of an act of revolution. Because of course we've closed ourselves down because people around us were maybe not been able to understand who we were because of their conditioning. And because of that, they couldn't accept who we truly are. And because we've noticed that people are not accepting who we are and they don't understand who we are, we've started pretending to be like others so we would be understood, right? So we would be kind of accepted. But because we've started practicing that pretending, we became so good at pretending that we forgot about the real nature of us. We forgot about our authentic selves. And every time you become good at something, you may forget about what you've been good at before you've become good at that, at what you're good now, right? So we need to come back to our roots and implement the same practice that we did when we started adapting to the external world. Now start adapting back to your inner world. Start adapting back to your inner child. Start adapting back to that inner being, that inner fire that is urging you to be all that you can be. And if you're wondering like how to adapt to my inner world, how to adapt to my inner needs, well, ask yourself what you need. Ask yourself what you want. Ask yourself what you desire on that heart level, not on mental level. Not on what the world expects from you to be accepted, but what your inner kid, inner child, inner being wants you to do. And just be present with it. Be there for yourself. That's a great, great change that you can do. Be there for yourself and listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. That's what it means to be a good friend towards yourself. Be a good friend of you. So, my friends, this is it for today. I will leave you here. I'm sending you a lot of love, blessings, and power. Have a beautiful day, and till next time, one love.